Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is chill outside without being actually cold. Yay. It's wet and rainy, Pacific Northwest weather. Plus, we're into maybe winter. We're almost into December.
Show yourself! Show yourself!
And I don't think we've had a freeze yet. Yay! But anyway, I slept a bit last night, which is a good thing. I tried to sleep in, but within a half hour of, saying, I'm sleeping in, I was up anyway. It happens though. And hey, front-loading of videos, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, anything even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who help keep me and my pet, and just the one at the moment, alive, and that is greatly appreciated. Without your help, I would be on the street and I would not be surviving that, so thank you. And if you'd like to become a patron, I have links in the video description along with a PayPal for possible donations, and an Amazon wishlist link with things like pet food on it, and a post office box where you send me anything and I'll show it off on camera if anybody ever sends anything. So thumbs up for that. Yay! Front loading of videos over. So yeah, yesterday was a day. I did things and I had falling asleep problems. I went walkies and I got home and I stayed up too late. But I tried to do as many creative things as possible. I was not able to break through a lot of my executive dysfunction. I wanted to play some NoteQuest Expanded World just for myself. I sat in my chair instead. Executive dysfunction is, for people who have it, it's like you're being shown, and I've mentioned this before, I'm reiterating, it's like you've been shown a nonsense picture of random shapes and colors, and you were told, before you can do what you want to do, write down the name of the animal in this picture. It's a random assemblage of shapes and colors. I don't even know how to answer that question. What animal are you talking about? Is the name hidden on the back? Is there a picture printed somewhere I don't know about? So until I can answer that question, I can't do anything. And sometimes I can't ever answer that question. I can't get that thing done. I can be screaming inside of my head to just do it. But until I interpret that picture, I'm stuck. And that is very, very frustrating for anybody who has executive dysfunction. Yay! But I did what I could, and I played some video games, and I did some other things, and that's a good thing. That is definitely a good thing, and definitely for walkies. I have mentioned I have blisters on my toes. I have, because of my various chronic conditions, I have, a very, a low pain tolerance, itchy bit of my lips still, a low pain tolerance. I, like many people who have chronic pain, are very, very good at ignoring painful things, which is bad. One of the things that happens with people who have chronic pain issues is we tend to die from things that don't kill other people because it hurts. So people go get help, and then they find out what's wrong, and then it fixes the problem. People with chronic pain are used to just ignoring pain. So you have something crop up, you ignore the pain until it's too late, and then you die. And that's just one of those things that happens. It's not a big, plague sweeping the land. It's just when you have chronic pain issues, that tends to be an issue. So yay on that. But still, I just thought I'd mention that because I have issues that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of I might have various cancers, and I can't afford to even go to the doctor. I don't know what regular arthritis feels like, but I have points right here on this hand where I can just press, and it's a sick pain. And moving this hand is just very painful. Is that regular arthritis? I don't know. Is it something like metastasizing bone cancer? I don't know. I don't have money. I don't have access to health care aside from going to the emergency room, and that's for acute problems, not chronic things. So, yay. But still, I wanted to talk about other things because I have written down here a whole bunch of things, but there's a lot I want to talk about, like with the King in Crimson and with cryptids. One of the cryptid characters was actually brought up by somebody in the comments. I wish I could remember who, but they asked about various types, and I've been thinking about this. I believe it was the same person that asked about spider cryptids, because I do have a spider cryptid, Sanyo. Identifies as a he and is a spider. Very terrifying. Because it's like big as a dog, the body. And then, the legs are even larger. But I figured that there would also be, I'll put up the scenario, where the scenario would be like this. Part of a criminal organization comes home and starts pottering about in his house and gets startled badly when there is a voice from inside the living room. Turns around and sees that there's this guy sitting in the chair reading a book, reading glasses on, and then just goes, what sort of guy can come out of nowhere and start amassing power and be relatively unopposed, closing their book with a bookmark in it? Ulysses by James Joyce takes off the reading glasses and just starts talking from their position in their chair. And this, crime boss underling type person is just frozen watching while this person talks. And I say, what sort of individual can obviously create enemies and yet not have a lot of enemies around to cause problems? What sort of individual can get rid of problem people and yet not have any real legal issues with something like this? Hi, my name is Lou, and I work for Anthony Sclera. Anthony Sclera has been coming up a lot, just rising up through the ranks here in his own little organization. And that Anthony Sclera doesn't cause a big mess when he doesn't like people. And that as a crime person, he's making enemies. He doesn't bluster. He doesn't tell people that they're in trouble. He doesn't do anything public. But when Anthony Sclera wants somebody to vanish, he sends me. Now, I'm not a human being, but I like to eat human beings. I'm one of those creatures that goes bump in the night. I'm one of those individuals that your parents warned you about. Stay in bed when it's dark, or that thing is gonna gobble you up. I'm gonna eat you. They are never gonna find a body, because there's no body to be found. You rubbed Anthony Sclera the wrong way. You are gonna fill a nice spot in my belly. And that would be Lou, who is working for one of the crime bosses in Brookerton. Not a huge crime bed, but wherever there's people, there's corruption, there's crime, there's organizations, there's people that will take advantage of that. And there you go. Lou works for Anthony Sclera, not because Anthony Sclera is a good person, but because Anthony Sclera sends Lou out to eat people. And that's payment enough. So yeah, it happens. They can be a very ethical and moral cryptid, but even the good cryptids, light cryptids who have no disrespect for humanity, can have ethics and morals that would keep the world's dictators up at night, unable to sleep, thinking about the implications of that. So yeah, they're fun. And I just thought I'd mention that as well. I have also mentioned that when cryptids are eating, like I will talk about how when there's a couple that are eating a human being, that one of them will have the light of madness in their eyes, or the fires of madness. That is only because cryptids, like people, just have eyes that don't reflect. But just as a vegan type cryptid like Polly, who's a plant cryptid, she has very flat bovine teeth, little bovine teeth for eating plant stuff because she's an herbivore. Except when she wants to eat human flesh. And then she, like any other cryptid, when she's ready, she just opens up her jaws and she's got like shark teeth. And at that point, because they're acting very instinctively, their eyes do reflect. Primarily red or orange when they're at this state, though some of theirs, they're really right on the edge, and so they flicker from red to orange. So it does look like little fires inside of their eyes, but they are just reflective like cat's eyes. Also, another way to tell if you're feeling frisky, if you're a cryptid and you're out in public, one of the things that happens is it is a more instinctive state when you're feeling frisky. Your eyes are also more reflective like an animal's. Very light silver reflective flashes out of your eyes. Cryptids, unless you are also showing signs of being frisky, you are not even a candidate for being hit upon. You are just like null target. So if a cryptid is feeling frisky, they're looking for somebody else that's feeling frisky. If you're not feeling frisky, you're not going to get unwanted attention. You're just not even on the radar. So if there's nobody around, frequently a frisky feeling cryptid will just lose that because there's nobody around who's interested. And so they just go back to not feeling that way because there's nothing to reciprocate. They don't really care if there's just, I'm feeling frisky and someone is reciprocating. They don't really care about who their partner happens to be, what gender, what sex. As long as there is fun that can be had, they will have fun. If you pair bond and want to reproduce, you will look for a pair, not a pair, you will look for a partner with which you can reproduce. If you're not looking for any sort of reproductive thing, you're not going to bother caring about who. Just as long as you get along with them, that's fine. Now, Clausy and Alan, Polly's parents, they got together and have been pumping out litters of kits all the time. So yeah, they are a reproductive pair. But generally cryptids, if they're just going for fun or entertainment or don't care about reproduction, they don't care who their partner is as long as they enjoy being with their partner. So thumbs up on that. And also, I wanted to talk more about the King in Crimson and just their physical being. Because the King in Crimson wears a mask, and it looks like a porcelain mask, but it's not made out of porcelain. It's kind of like a combination between that Guy Fawkes mask, the anonymous mask, and one of those, there's the tragedy and comedy things for theater where it's the exaggerated sad face and the exaggerated happy face. The mask kind of looks like that. Big holes for the eyes and a big hole for the mouth, except it's not a static mask. For some reason, somehow, and even the king doesn't really know how it works or where they got it. It was they have impressions and memories before they were sentient and sapient of not having the mask, and then a period of time when they do after that. No real memories or anything of where it came from or who made it or if they made it or what. But while it is physical, knock, 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 it makes frequent facial changes, like having a line that looks like an electronic, static line, except it's a physical mask still, but it goes with an electronic fry sound, and the expression changes. They are very expressive, exaggerated features. which is weird because when you can see the king's face and mouth through the mask, they are human features. And you can tell he's using extremely exaggerated facial features while talking. You know, he's the kind of, well, not he, they are the kind of individual that would be like, oh? Like this all the time. So is the mask there to kind of humanize the exaggerated features? And if so, how come the mask does just as exaggerated of features? There's no shame in hiding the fact that when the king is bored listening, it'll have an exaggerated bored face with the eyes rolling. They'll have to have their own eyes rolling underneath, but you can tell from the shape of the face and such that that's rolling eyes. As for the king, they're human eyes and a human mouth, and you can see that there's like face paint put around them, and it's inexpertly put on. You can see finger smudges and sometimes the little spots where it's not put on all that well. So it's a human face with human teeth, human tongue, human lips, human eyes, eyelashes, eyebrows, from everything you can see. But the body, the king, is anywhere from 5'5" to 6'5". The king is not a humanoid being. Well, not human, possibly humanoid, possibly not. As stated, their appearance changes. I can't visualize them actually and clearly. For years, I have been trying to find out. The best I've been able to get is the mask, and then their clothing has so far been, nobody really knows what the king looks like except for their trusted human staff. Very few people, and they don't talk, just out of sheer loyalty. They're not human, and their clothing, for the best I've been able to see, is something that changes at a whim. So they can be leaning against the wall or, window, looking out at their city and being, looking like they're wearing shabby robes like Obi-Wan Kenobi from the original Star Wars, and then turn. And as they turn, there's all these threads and little tendrils whipping around in their clothing until they could be like in some sort of faux Egyptian type of costuming in yellows and blues instead of dull browns. But there are those who do see him, because, I say him again, English defaults to him and he and all that. I hate that. But there are those that see the king beyond that. The king does not really need a human staff. They don't really need people to do things for them when they're not governing. But they like to have people around in the same way that people like to have pets. And also, the king talks to these people, bounces ideas, and just likes conversation. And even though the ratio of Syrian hamster to human being is the same as human being to the King in Crimson, the King in Crimson still does value our interactions with them, and they have, again, a deep, abiding love, empathy, affection, and sympathy for us. Now, Utok, as I have mentioned, is a powerful being that torments the King in Crimson as well, but not fully tormenting. And as Syrian hamster is to human as the King in Crimson, human as to King in Crimson as King in Crimson is to Utok. Utok is extremely powerful, but has absolutely zero imperialistic or colonialistic ideas. They are an individual, and they only want to live. They have no doctrine or empire to spread. And they are an ambush predator, but I'll talk more about them on another day, hopefully tomorrow. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, even though I count American Sign Language. Well, And of course, thank you so very, very much if you have watched this far. Nobody has forced you to. You have watched of your own volition, and that is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. We have Jesse Koskinen. I do enjoy using all sorts of consoles, even though I like my PC a ton. But yeah, the Oblivion. I used to be such a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls series. Flora Mew, thumbs up, and good to see you in the comments. And I hope that I help you sleep because I'm soothing and calming and not just so boring you fall asleep. I'm just making fun of myself. In a self-deprecating but not damaging to my ego sort of way. At least I hope. J-A-Y-Y, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Cake, greatly appreciated. No, I'm okay. My toes are blistered, but I'm okay. We have Liam Gilbert. I totally misread on the game about health. I thought I was dying of health and I was looking at my armor. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you much, greatly appreciated. There is Ollie Baby, greatly appreciated. And then there is Adrian XJG. I guess you changed your name, but I do hope to have Oblivion or some such back again. No fear, I haven't given up on it. Just ADHD and everything going on in my head at the moment. But greatly appreciated. Shinra, thumbs up, good to see you. Ben B, thumbs up, greatly appreciated. And then that is it. But I'm actually going to answer after this with Jesse Koskinen asks, is that a UFO drawing? I don't actually draw UFOs. I have things called flying pancakes that I'll draw occasionally. This is all stuff that I came up with as a teenager when I was in high school taking art class. You know, I solidified the ideas. These are greeblies that I and somebody else came up with as a kid. You know, everybody draws something like this, so I just call these greeblies because of what we did. And we had all sorts of things that even now, you know, 50 years later, I still draw greeblies, flying pancakes, all sorts of stuff. Yay! Well, son of a gun, it's still a weekend. I'm going to take it easy. I do plan on recording for today. I want to do more Note Quest for the channel. I really enjoy that game. I want to do more 4 Against Darkness for the channel. I really enjoy that game. I want to do D100 Dungeon for the channel. I love that game. I haven't been able to play it for the channel yet because I put so many of the charts and stuff on screen from PDFs, and I have no PDFs of the game, and I would have to be doing that with no supplemental charting, and I don't like that. So as soon as I can get some supplemental charting, I think that's when I'm going to be able to do it with PDFs and the like, so we shall see. But until we meet again, please be careful for your location and situation. If people are getting sick, please practice your social isolation, your distancing, and wear a mask. If people are getting hurt and killed physically, don't go where that's happening and then like dance with no thoughts of being practical and safe. And if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, the bus has got your name on it. Just make peace with your maker and hope it comes fast, because your body's going to get smeared over the landscape when that thing hits you. Oy vey. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.